can use maintain mode. Basically, what maintain mode does is you can start and stop recording by using one switch from single place. We also provide a feature called detect input status. You can check your input status manually or automatically. To check your input status manually, you can click on the I/O button and then either open the module or select the detect input status feature. Here, because all of my I/O devices are operational, it doesn't show any error messages. You can also use this feature to check the input status automatically. Let's say you have a home security system. Every time when you want to get out of the house, you will set the alarm first. And before you do that, and before you start the recording, our system can check all of your input sensors and see if there is anything wrong. If your windows is opened, or if you're cooking something in the kitchen and smoke is detected, our system will send out alarms to tell you that you have to check your input sensors. And I'll do an example here. Right now, one of my sensors has been triggered. And if I want to check manually, I can go to the I/O button, and then call out the detect input status window. Now you can see that I have a smoke detector turned on. Or you can do it automatically. You don't have to manually check the status of your I/O. Once you try to start recording, a window will pop out to tell you if there's any I/O sensor is being triggered. And one of the most important features we added to our version 8.0 is Advanced I/O Panel. Advanced I/O Panel can do cascade triggering. It can also do logical input. For cascade triggering, you can, using applications like if you have a house with 3 floors, and you have alarm installed on each floor. Today, if any one of the sensors has been triggered, you can use cascade triggering to trigger all alarms at once. So you can see that when I didn't close the window, all my alarms will tell me, all the alarms on each floor will notify the user. And as for logical I/Os, you can use applications like gate control. For example, I want to make sure when the car wants to go out, want to leave the parking lot, they must be parked in the right place before I will open the gate. So I can place 2 sensors under their front and back wheels. If only one of the sensors has been triggered, the gate won't open. The gate will only open when both of them are triggered. So you can see, if I only trigger one sensor, nothing happened to the gate. But if the car is in place and 2 of them are all triggered, the gate will open. And that's what you can do with logical input. Here, one of the problems you might have faced before is if you set up a very complicated I/O configurations, how do you back those settings up? If your system crashes, you don't want to redo everything again, right? with our utility called Fast Backup and Restore, you can back your I/O configurations up with just a few clicks. Here I'm installing the FBR utility program. It's right there. Because I have already installed it on my computer, I'll just skip the installation process. And this is Fast Backup and Restore. You can use the backup system settings to back up the I/O configurations, and it will be stored in the general section. So if you just want to back up your I/O configurations, you only need to select general. And now you can just select a destination where you want to store the file. And now you have a backup file of your I/O configurations. If you want to if you want to move these configurations to another PC, all you need to do is make a copy of this file and then double click on it on the other system, and you will restore these settings automatically. Well, of course, you will still have to press the button. And now I'll just restore the settings on this computer. And that's it. So if you have a very complicated I/O configurations, you can use our FBR utility program to back them up. Yes?
I just want to find out, when you do, let's say, a fast backup, like you've shown us now, will that work? Let's say I make a backup of a GB800. Will I be able to back up those settings to a GB1480? Let's say the client wants to upgrade to another card.
Of course.
Will that
You
work?
just back up the software settings. It doesn't. It's not hardware dependent.
Okay.
But of course, you need to have the same I/O devices on the same system to be able to use the same settings. And do you have any other more questions about I/Os? We have our I/O engineers here.
You showed us about the when a car parks, let's say in front of the boom, like here in the picture, they
notify input status.
Yes, both input needs to be triggered before the gate will open. That kind of setup. Can you show us how to do that?
You mean
the setup so that both inputs need to trigger before the output will go to open the boom?
Oh.